I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk to folks from the VTuber community about their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We're joined by Kiki. Hi.
Hi, glad to
Please,
be here.
please introduce yourself to everybody.
My name's Kiki, or Persikka, if you want to be all formal about it.
Mm-hmm.
I am a new, aspiring, fledgling VTuber, and I'm really excited to share my journey with everyone here.
So, what made you get started?
Well, I've been considering VTubing for probably close to a year and a half now.
Mm-hmm.
And truthfully, it was it was the design elements that drew me in. I was just like, wow, these are such fun characters that have fun personalities behind them.
Oh,
What if I did that?
that's absolutely true, isn't it? There's just so many different ways that people are able to express themselves and still be themselves without being themselves.
Exactly, exactly. A fun little avatar, if you will.
Yeah. So, are you an artist type?
Yeah, I was actually majoring in fine arts before I switched majors around the pandemic.
Mo, a good time for a lot of people to switch majors.
Absolutely.
So you've been an artist for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid, I thought I was going to go on to become a children's book illustrator or graphic novelist or something.
Well, that's still not out of the question, is it?
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a couple side projects going.
Yeah. Did you start off as someone who just doodled in the classroom or at home, or was it
Oh
was it
yeah.
was it something that you picked up in a class later?
It's really funny actually because since I was a little kid, I've been exposed to anime and manga
Hmm.
through staying way too staying up way too late watching Toonami, or my well-intended mother wanting to give her 11-year-old a fun little picture book, not knowing it was a seinen manga.
Oops.
So that opened a lot of doors for me and
Yes,
kind of just yeah.
that could open up a lot of doors for you, actually, at that particular age. Yes. But so you've been drawing on your so you kind of, even though you had some influences, you were self-taught early on.
Oh yeah, definitely. I had all of those how to draw manga books, how to draw the shoujo, how to draw the magical girls. It wasn't until high school that I think I got any proper art education.
Hmm.
Because not to rag on middle school or elementary school art, but it's not the same.
Yeah, you're talking to a guy who actually got an F in art in school. Um,
Oh
I
no.
completed the project, but it was just that bad.
Oh, that sounds like an awful teacher.
Well, you can only do so much. I mean, there's like
That's true.
electricity through petrified wood. There are just some folks that just aren't good at it, and I fully accept that. But I do know what I like, and the folks who are able to do that, I am quite jealous of your ability to be able to express what you like to do, what's in your creative juices to be able to show it to everybody and have the courage to do it, because there's a difference in that too.
That means a lot to me actually. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
There there's such a fear with artists presenting the work to the world because it feels almost like we're presenting a part of ourselves to the world.
Right. Yeah.
So it can be very, yeah,
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah. And so many chances for you to get, as you stick your neck out, for someone to take a swing at you from either jealousy or just they have bad taste.
Exactly.
And do it in such a way that is injurious to you intentionally. And have you been able to avoid that for the most part, or have you been able to at least take the blows?
Yeah, so far at least, knock on wood, I have encountered nothing but kind people and support and validation.
Mm.
So that's really made me feel a lot more comfortable pursuing this fully.
Yeah. It's again, I think it's very courageous of you to be able to do that, and hats off to people who are able to. The Some folks like us, they pass legislation to make sure they don't put pens in our hands. But the uh, going from that to taking classes, I've talked to folks who say that that was a pretty traumatic experience because suddenly they kind of get pigeonholed or told that the way they're doing it is incorrect. Did you find that when you were going into your first art classes?
Are we talking high school or university?
High school first.
Okay, high school. Yeah, there were definitely a lot of pressures, but ironically enough, I personally at least faced more pressure from wanting to keep up with my peers
Hmm.
than judgment from my teacher in particular.
Oh, that's I guess that's good, but there's still it's a
Yeah.
different sort of pressure. At least you didn't get kind of browbeaten into changing what you were doing uh, to satisfy somebody else's taste.
Yeah, thankfully, our teacher in high school was pretty creative with his projects that let us feel a lot of agency with them.
Mm, yeah.
But there are some things I've learned after the fact, like, no, if I wanted to do a cool tone painting, I probably shouldn't do my underpainting in brown.
Yeah, I mean, I told you I don't know much about art, but I do know that.
Right,
That doesn't really set things up for you particularly well. Now,
right. Little 15-year-old me was like, why is my snow looking like pee? I don't like this.
oh, looks like the Midwest.
Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
but the translating that into college now, and I imagine since you took it as a major, you went to school specifically, kind of looking for a place. How did that translate for you?
I was really enjoying myself in the beginning because of the novelty of these new experiences.
Yeah.
Like, in high school art, we had, certain parameters as far as the size, the materials we used, the content we did.
Hmm.
But moving to university, where, it turned into, okay, we're using 3 foot by 4.5 foot paper to draw these live nude models for us for the next hour.
Yeah, that's glass.
Yeah,
And I mean,
but I found out that it really helped build a lot of foundational skills I didn't realize I was still lacking.
hmm.
So it was really rewarding for a long time.
Oh, well, but yeah, eventually though, did it kind of wear on you that you're instead of kind of expanding what you want to do, you're kind of being put through the ringer as opposed to expanding what you're wanting to create?
Ironically enough, I didn't feel that pressure
Huh.
before I was kind of warned about that being a possibility by
Hmm.
one of my professors.
Wow. Well, at least you got the heads up on that.
Yeah, he took a special liking to a lot of my gesture drawings and sketches,
Hmm.
and one day he kind of sat down with me trying to figure out where I wanted to go with all of this.
Hmm.
And when I expressed to him I wanted to work in sequential arts or storytelling or character design and things like that, he let me know that if you want to do that, you should be at an art school proper and not a university taking fine art as a major
Ah,
because our networking is not going to help you there.
it is a little different, isn't it? And
It very different, but the
um,
prices are very different too.
yes, yes, they certainly are. Now I'm going to use a word here that most artists threaten to leave the interview for, so please bear with me. The word is going to be hands.
Hands.
Yes. Does that
Ah,
does there it is.
I have a love-hate relationship with hands.
So
I have
at least you didn't scream when I mentioned
if you would have said feet, that would have been a different story.
oh no. But so how I mean is that something that you kind of settled in pretty quickly with, or is it something that you just never like when you put it on to whatever medium you're using?
Are we talking about hands or feet now? I just want to make sure I'm keeping it
Yeah,
straight.
hands first, then feet.
Hands. Okay. Hands I actually enjoy sketching quite a bit.
Hmm.
because they're just very fascinating little things to observe. Sorry, my PC went black for a reason, but I
Uh,
think we're okay now.
that's okay. It's the little virus we put in everybody's computers while we're doing this. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
We
fantastic. I'm
yeah.
so glad I'm part of a group now.
Yeah, you're part of an international group. I'll tell you about it later. The but for you, it's been kind of the feet of the bugaboo.
Yeah. I had
Uh,
a professor, he made us have two sketchbooks at home, one just for general life studies, and the other sketchbook specifically for hands, faces, and feet. And I don't know what it is, but you would have thought I've never seen a human foot in my life. I cannot get them.
well, I said to other folks that the artists that are thought of as the greats from the early times, a lot of them you see their paintings and they just avoid them completely.
Oh yeah, exactly.
They have them covered up or something.
It's like the classic rendition of I'm gonna draw the arms behind the back.
Yes, Napoleon never really did put his hand in his vest. He just did that so the artist didn't have to draw.
Right? I wouldn't be shocked.
So it's when you are going to start make this transition to VTubing, is it going to be mostly an art stream, or have you got other designs?
Well, that's the fun thing about it. I was pulled into the appeal of VTubing through the aesthetics and the, creative outlets.
Hmm.
But as I started looking into it more and more, I kind of realized that this is a fantastic, just method of social media to engage a lot of people, especially a lot of young people.
Yeah,
So I actually want to kind of shift almost like how I shifted my old major to my new major.
right.
And I kind of want to do more of an educational streaming.
I've seen a few people do that. It's extremely interesting, and 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 not trying to impress my opinion on it, but it to me you get to the person who's doing it kind of gets the ability to educate and get some interesting feedback from the chat as well. It's a different way of interacting with people.
Oh, 100%.
Well, yeah. So is it going to be kind of how tos, or is it going to be informational, biographical? What types of things have you got planned? What
So I'm actually going. Oh, sorry.
I think without spilling the beans too much.
Yeah, no worries. I'm actually debuting with my first educational stream today.
Oh,
So, yeah, pretty
yeah.
excited. It's going to cover what is science, kind of defining it, defining why it changes, explaining why it's okay for science to change,
Mhm.
and kind of give some pointers when looking at sources in the future to be able to discern, okay, who is collecting this information? How is it collected? What do they want me to know?
So you tackled an easy one.
Yeah, just starting,
in
just
in
something
today's in
simple.
today's society, you tackled an easy one. So you're starting off
For
with a
sure.
48-hour stream then. No,
I'm trying. I'm
no,
trying.
I wish you the best on that because that's a heck of a topic in many ways, and I'm going to tune in to find out what this is going to be all about coming up. But we this particular interview might be out a little bit after that happens, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna tune in myself to see what's going on. Have you got other
Thanks.
plans, sport, other than teaching? Are you gonna do some gaming? Are you gonna do some art online?
Yeah, I think when I eventually have my because at the moment I'm kind of using a separate laptop that's not connected to my PC to draw, and
Hmm.
this laptop has no capacity, like no memory, no space to screen record.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to wait till I get a new drawing setup to do any art streams. But besides talking about science, primates, and human history, I want to do some fun variety things like cozy games or just various meme activity, if you will.
Yeah. So you're gonna do the variety streaming.
Oh, absolutely. I'd like to do a lot of the, educational kind of presentation things, but I definitely want to mix it up.
So, so who? We talked about a little bit how you decided to get started. Who was the VTuber that kind of said, yeah, that kind of said to you, yeah, I want to try this?
Um, well, there were plenty of VTubers that I just had seen in passing that I never really went back to watch. I'm a very bad VTuber fan. I don't know many,
Yeah.
but I saw so many just in passing, like, famous ones, Iron Mouse,
Mm,
Shy Lily, Matatara.
right.
But there's actually this indie streamer who kind of was that inspirational push for me just because he is so authentic
Mm,
and in such control of his little community that he's accumulated by being so authentic.
yeah.
And that streamer is Kenji, if you're familiar with him.
Yeah. Yep. And that name has come up unfortunately here recently in some things, but um,
Yeah, I did hear.
yeah, that's neither here or there as far as I'm concerned in this particular interview. Um,
Hmm.
but again, this is this is the type of thing that draws people in who maybe normally might have sat on the sidelines and continued to watch. And now this is going to give you a great opportunity to show us what you've got.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a lot of fun to watch and see because the more things, see, you're taking this idea of VTubing and you're going in a path that's not well trodden. I mean, you're expanding the envelope even more. That's great, and it's great that you're really willing and wanting to do this.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I did notice that there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of streamers doing things adjacent to this, but I've seen a couple here and there.
Yeah, but and the more we can get education out there, the better. Now, you did mention primates.
I'm
So
sorry?
you mentioned the word primates. Is
Oh, yes.
so is this something else that you've been interested in for a long time? Is it kind of a uh, the thought the idea of you bringing that up just intrigues me. Why primates?
Well, because after learning I was going to be pigeonholed through this art major,
Uh huh.
and then COVID kind of happening shortly after that,
Hmm.
I had a minute to sort of reflect on, do I really want to go into debt to get a degree to know how to draw people crying for comics? Or do I want to pivot that to something more beneficial or useful for the world?
Hmm.
So I ended up switching my major and minor, which were fine arts and anthropology.
Oh, so you've turned to the natural arts, so to speak, with
Yeah.
ecology and a lot of things that I have absolutely no idea what to talk about as far as those concerned. I that really those were classes I did extremely badly in. But the fact that you're willing to do this means that you obviously have some very strong ideas this way, as far as I can tell. Um, is that also kind of pushing you toward wanting to get a really good platform to work from?
Absolutely. Um, After I finished my degree at university for my undergraduate in anthropology,
Hmm.
I actually want to go on and get a PhD in environmental anthropology,
Mm,
which kind of looks at the relationship people have with nature and, how our actions impact it
mm,
and what that could in turn mean for us in the future.
yes,
So,
yes. The reason why that the Midwest didn't have a winter this year, that sort of thing.
yeah, exactly.
It's why our bugs are going to be as big as cats this summer.
Exactly.
With
So
mute.
I figured,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So it's you're going to be able to continue to educate folks and work towards uh, trying to make the place a better place.
Exactly. I think it's so important for people to be aware of things as they are, because that in turn gives us a sense of power of, now that I understand this, what can I do about it?
Hmm.
Rather than just feeling like, it's funny that you mentioned that, classes people did poorly on, or, topics that are quote unquote beyond somebody's capability of understanding.
Hmm.
I think it's all about the language that's used and the methods of breaking down the information to make it accessible to people.
I
So I'm really hoping to take some rather big ideas and deliver them in a digestible format.
make them bite-sized, and so people can you know and this is going to sound terrible given the what we're just talking about, but not have to eat the whole elephant at once. I'm only
No, that's exactly right.
I'm only saying that because it's the only phrase I can come up with that makes sense.
No, but I mean that's exactly it.
Well,
It's funny that you say that too. I just learned that phrase like last year or something from my therapist.
yeah. Oh, so don't let me drive you into that into back to therapy. It's but the the fact that you're able to do this also is going to open you up. And I hate bringing this up, but you're going to get some some uh, some feedback that's not necessarily going to be positive in bringing this out. You know this, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
all
No,
right,
absolutely.
and you're ready for this.
Oh yeah, I'm already taking the steps I need to in advance. I'm adding certain words to the block list of
Mm.
certain words that just, if you put them in my chat, your message isn't even going to show up. It's
Mm.
just not.
Well, yeah, it's I hate to see somebody no matter if people can have all sorts of opinions, and some of them are really, really, really not good. everybody
Yeah.
everybody knows a few people like that, maybe in their family, that have that. But you can still be somewhat civil in discourse. Um,
Absolutely.
and you've seen enough VTube, and you know that that isn't always a priority for some people. Uh,
Oh, yes.
yeah. So I,
I know a
I
lot of people speak with feelings rather than facts.
some people don't even speak with that. Some people barely can form words and still do this. But
Right.
I I am I wish you the best of luck with it because your intentions are obviously in the positive here, and there's no reason to for anybody to attack you on those grounds.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that obviously you've got a really uh, good outlook for this. It sounds like you're pretty well planned. You've got this pretty surrounded. Am I right?
Yeah, I would say I have a pretty good roadmap
Mm-hmm.
of where I want to go. There's
Mm-hmm.
definitely going to be stops kind of added or removed along the way
Mm-hmm.
as things kind of change. But at the moment, I'm feeling pretty good about the direction I'm going in. I got a decent compass working.
Now back to the art a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you doing your own design for your model? And
Oh, yes.
and since you are an artist, you're obviously not going to ever be quite done with it. There- there's always going to be some tweaking because models always for artists always tweak a little bit. But have you done your rigging type of thing? Is that something you're going to rely on yourself for?
Um, Rigging, I am not 100% sure on just yet. I
Hmm.
want to do all the model art myself for it,
Right.
but I have very little experience with anything like that.
Hmm.
So I'll have to see how a 40-day free trial goes, and after that, I might have to start saving up to pay somebody else.
Mm. But
But
in the meantime, you know exactly what you want to do with it.
oh, absolutely. In the meantime, I'm sticking with a PNG tuber until things can kind of shake out. I mentioned earlier how it took me about a year and a year and a half to get to where I am now.
Hmm.
Most of that time was spent drawing up a concept, playing with it, tweaking it, thinking that I had exactly what I wanted, and then 2 days later going, wow, I hate this. Let's start over.
Yeah, spoken like a true artist. Crinkle, crinkle, throw away. Start
Pretty
again.
much.
Start again. Well, you don't have to do that on the computer. You can just hit delete. Unfortunately, you can
Right.
always hit delete the stuff that you really want to keep too, and that's always a problem. But
Mhm.
it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you for this interview, and I hope once you get things going and rolling, we'll get you back again and get an update on what's going on with your channel and what you're trying to do. For folks who want to get in on it, we'll have some links in the description for how to see what this person is up to and what they're and I really like the enthusiasm and um, the creativity that you've got going here. I think it's going to be a big success.
Well, thank you so much. That means a lot to me, really.
Yeah,
I really hope I do a good job for everybody. Not that I'm doing this for anyone but myself, but you know what I mean.
I do. I do. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you again for having me.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.